The SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon joins me now from Ayr. And a very good afternoon to you. Well, I don't know if you could hear what Paddy Ashdown was saying, but will you be losing any sleep over the fact that the Lib Dems have ruled themselves out of joining any progressive alliance your party is part of?
I think the big question is whether the Lib Dems are going to have any MPs left in the next House of Commons, let alone whether they're going to be in a position to be in a coalition with anybody. You look, in this election campaign, I'm putting forward a positive, progressive, social democratic message. First and foremost, a vote for the SNP is a vote to get Scotland's voice heard, much more loudly and strongly than it's ever been heard at Westminster before. But secondly, SNP voices in the House of Commons will be voices for progressive change, for an alternative to austerity, for more protection for our public services and for action to lift people out of poverty. And I'm not surprised that that kind of message doesn't chime with people like John Major, but it does chime very strongly with people the length and breadth of Scotland.
Well, give me some direct responses to what Sir John has had to say. Well, he's termed you almost like a kind of baddie in a Tom Clancy novel. You are a real and present danger, he says.
I mean, I think John Major's comments probably say more about the Tory party than they do about the SNP. They're a sign of the desperation, growing desperation of a Tory party that's starting to face up to the fact that it may well lose this election. His comments are silly, they're over the top, but more seriously, they're actually a bit of an affront to democracy. These are the politicians who, just last year, were urging people in Scotland to lead to the UK, not leave the UK. But now it turns out they only meant that if we say what they want us to say and vote how they want us to vote. Well, my message to John Major is that people in Scotland are absolutely entitled to make their voice heard in whatever way they democratically choose to do so. And if people in Scotland, and I take nothing for granted, choose to put their trust in the SNP to make their voice heard at Westminster, then we will do that positively and constructively. We'll stand up for Scotland at all times, but we'll also seek to build alliances for progressive change right across the UK. I appreciate that kind of message is a bit scary for Conservatives and failed Tory Prime Ministers, but it's very positive and uplifting for people who do want to see progressive change at Westminster.
And First Minister, I just want to ask you about the crisis on the Mediterranean. Do you think the UK is doing enough to deal with the plight of some of those migrants?
I don't think anybody is yet doing enough. I think there needs to be strong, concerted, joined-up action to help those who are in such an awful and tragic situation. I mean, from a humanitarian level, we simply cannot, as a society, as a human race, stand by while people, including children, drown in the Mediterranean. So the Scottish Government is urging the UK Government and the European Union to come together and to get a joined-up, concerted plan of action to deal with this awful and tragic situation.
Nicola Sturgeon, thank you very much indeed. Scottish First Minister, leader of the SNP there.